I want to get right into it today. You know what I'm saying? As far as what we want to talk about. Last week we talked about fourth quarter living. For those of y'all that went on the call, what that basically means is this. October the 1st marks 3 months left in the year, which basically give or take is 12 or 13 weeks left, about 90 days left in the year. That's literally a quarter of the year, which means regardless of what you had going on the first 9 months of the year, when you made those New Year's resolutions, whatever you wanted to get done before in 2021, you got 3 months to go ahead and finish strong. Um, One thing about it is, for me personally, like I ain't just talking about the fourth quarter. I'm living it right now. Like I'm literally in that moment. I'm in that space. And I made a commitment to myself, you know what I'm saying, starting October the 1st, that I was gonna bring in at least 2 referrals a day to the end of the year. I was like, I'm not even worried about the money. I hadn't even thought about, to be honest, how much money it is. Only thing I said was, I know if I do two, because put it like this, in Gobi, if you get one referral a day for 90 days, that'll put you at 6 figures, like I think 9,000 or something like that a month. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shoot, I'm more than capable of getting more than one a day. I could get two a day. So starting last week, on the 1st, I've been doing it, and I'm actually ahead of schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already working on my two for Friday, and what's today, Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I already got all the referrals I needed for so far. So what I've learned in that process is not, because I'll be honest, because I do make residual income until I just got on this journey, I be in and out. Like I might work hard for 3 days, then I might not do nothing for 4 days or a week as far as recruiting or something like that, because I know I have income coming in. But what I realized is if I just go ahead and do exactly what we do, like at the job, which is get up and just do it anyway, even when you don't feel like it, in other words, make it a habit of doing it regardless, then what I did was I realized that you don't really rise to the level of your goals. You actually fall to the level of your habits. I'm gonna say it again. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Let's just say I got a filthy room, right? Let's just say I need to clean my room, right? And I can make a goal to go out and rush and clean the room up, and I would get that goal done. That room will be clean. But give me a 111 if you agree. If I don't change my habits that led to that dirty room, within a week or two, that room will be right back dirty, right? Right? So that's the same thing with your goals in real life. Yeah, you can say, hey, yeah, I want to make $5,000, or I want to make this per month, or I want to do this, I want to get this. And you might can get motivated and do it. But if you're just doing it just for that and you're not actually going to change your habits, you're not going to make it a lifestyle, then you're not going to be able to sustain it. Um, so for example, another example is this. Like if I can use food for an example. If I can eat a hamburger right now, a big burger, triple stack, right? You know what I'm saying? And I might feel a little bloated for a second, but it's not going to change my overall appearance. I'm still probably going to look the same. I might even gain a half a pound. Won't nobody even notice. And I can also eat a salad today. And same thing, it's not going to change what I look like, right? But if I make a habit of eating burgers every day, you're going to see the results a year, 2 years later, versus if a person eats salad every day and they make a habit of it. So your habits are very important. So Jordan, how you feel about what I just said right there?
I mean, let's talk about, habits in just the form of what's been going on. I mean, I could go on about how I've really been preaching in terms of I've really wanted to set myself a habit of getting up at 3:30 a.m. each and every day because of what we're intending to do right here, which is to have enough energy with doing what I have to do before our New York trading sessions. Having that time in order to build up my energy, which is, a little bit of meditation. I do about 13 to 15 minutes of meditation. And then I go through what I like to call my primal push up challenge workout, which it first became a fact that I can only do about 5 sets of about 5 push-ups, so about 25 each day. So that's where I kind of started when I went through with this challenge. But then when I turned it into more so a habit, so instead of, putting in my mindset that, oh, I'm going to go ahead and just do this on, one particular day, or they said like 3 days per week was the recommended, I decided to more so make that a daily habit. And now I've built up enough strength to where I'm able to do about 13 sets of 5 push-ups. Plus, I'm also adding in about 6 or 7 sit-ups a day. Now, over the course of a day or two, as Mike said, if I do that, you're really not going to see the results, or you're really not going to see much change. But what that does to you is it subconsciously puts in that particular habit. Now, is it easy to go ahead and do this particular habit when you first start out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is literally the equivalent of HE double hockey stick when you first do those habits that you don't want to do, right? But as over time, as you start to go ahead and keep doing those habits, so I always break. They say it takes about 21 days to make a habit. I'm more so it takes about 30, and it's actually broken up into 3 stages. Days 1 through 10, it's unbearable. You hate doing it, you don't like doing it, and you'd rather be doing something else. That's the first phrase. And then the second phase is uncomfortable. So you've been doing it for a while, and no, it's not anywhere in terms of unbearable where you don't feel like doing it, or it's like, why am I doing this? Like, you're putting those questions in your head, but you are able to do it, but it's still rather, I don't really feel like doing it, or I'm not really comfortable doing it just yet, into where I am able to go ahead and take it within stride. And then the final phase, 21 through 30, so days 21 through 30, is when you're actually going to be able to embrace the habit a bit more. So now my whole promo push-up challenge, so like getting back to that, right? So when I first did it, it was 5 days, I'm sorry, 5 push-ups, 5 reps, 5 push-ups, and I do it about 3 days consecutively. And then I build up to the next stage, which would be 6, 7, 8, etc. So I gone from 5 to 13. Tomorrow I'm going to challenge myself to do now 14. So I've been doing this for, let's see, 24 days, 27 days, somewhere around there, right? So I've gone ahead and I put myself in a position where I have embraced doing this particular habit. I've gone to a point where, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, I've done it for about 10, 11 days. So it's no longer unbearable. It's something that I can go ahead and do, but it is still uncomfortable. And so when it comes to now, let's bring this back into what we're doing here at Gobi. So whether you're recruiting, whether you're trading, learning the forex market concepts, going through our particular forex education, or even going through a trading session, or let's even broaden the scope out a little bit, doing something that you're doing for the first time, such as building a podcast following or something along that line, going through your passions. When you start day 1 through day 10, absolutely, and you don't know what you're doing, you get that initial excitement, but then it becomes a little bit unbearable because you don't know what you're doing yet, and you're still building up those particular habits of what you need to do in order to be successful. Then days 10 through 20 become the point where it's no longer unbearable, but you're still uncomfortable because you're still a little bit hesitant in exactly what you're supposed to do. And then by days 21 through 30, it becomes a lot easier for you, to where on day 30, you can turn it into a good habit, and you can go ahead and you can continue to practice that, throughout your lifetime. And so, Mike, just kind of coming back to, our habits when it comes to diets and when it comes to watching TV. I really can't remember the last time that I actually watched TV. That's 100% the truth. Like, of course I watch football on Sunday, I give myself that time, but I'm also doing what I need to do on the other ends to make sure that everything else is taken care of in terms of my success. And that's another thing that I actually wanted to go ahead and piggyback off to you, is that success. How bad do you want it? Do you want that level 10 lifestyle? Do you want to grow 10 times? Do you want that 10 times mindset? And I think that's really important. We could talk about habits till we're blue in the face, but without that particular mindset of wanting to achieve that level 10 lifestyle, of wanting to achieve that 10 time mindset, then with these habits that we build, unless we have a specific goal or a specific frame in mind, a whole lot of our actions aren't going to seem that much worthwhile until we get into the proper mindset.
Man, I feel you. Well, I got 3 goals, and I have no problem sharing it with y'all because I believe at least 2 of my goals, the last 2, that I think everybody, when you think about it, you probably should have similar goals. The first goal of mine is what I just told you. I'm getting 2 referrals a day for the next 90 days. I'm blacked out. I don't care about nothing else in the world. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm literally locked in on that. Once this year is over with, and that's done with, the next goal is, and that's really why I'm doing it, because I know once I get there, I know for a fact within a month or 2, I have an extra $10,000 in pocket change. Why do I want $10,000 in pocket change? Because I want to take $10,000 and I want to put it in my Forex account. And I want to put it in my Forex account, and I want to run about maybe $20 a pip with no stop loss, maybe $30 a pip, and collect 10, 20, 30 pips a day at least, and make $300 to $600 a day on autopilot. Because I know once I get there, because think about it, if I got an account that big, $10,000, and I'm only doing $20 a pip, $30 a pip, or whatever, the trade would have to go back like damn near 300, 400, 500 pips in order for me to lose that trade. Even if I had to hold it for a week or 2, eventually it will go into profit, which means you're literally just printing out $300 to $600 a day. And when I think about the fact that I've worked jobs where I've worked 40 hours a week and then make $500 a week, you know what I'm saying? And I can make this in a day, then that's something to shoot for. The next goal and the main goal is this. I'm 40 years old right now. Hopefully I live to be 100, but I think I can, if I stay healthy, I can at least fairly say I can make it to 80. I've already told myself that I can live off $50,000 a year. You know, if I had $50,000 a year capital, I don't need a lot of stuff. I would be good. You know what I'm saying? So my next goal, after I get that Forex account and I got that money, think about it. I got the residual rolling. Boom. I got the thing with the Forex going 10K. It's just constantly putting out $300 to $600 a day to spend the money. I can stack it, whatever I want to do. I can even raise that $10,000 account and even make more money. It's a lot of things I can do. But so that's going. Now, the next plan is to come up with a play using those 2 sources and maybe something else to come up with how can I have, I forgot the math on it. I'll do a quick math. 50,000 times 10 years is how much? I can't think right now. There's 500,000. Yeah, 500,000. So I need about $2 million. And once I got $2 million, I can put that to the side. And I know at least for the next 40 years, I got at least $50,000 that I can live off regardless of what else I'm doing. So those are my goals. You have to figure out what yours are. Now, with that being said, once you figure out what your goals are, you have to start making daily habits going to those goals. And if you're not doing that, you have to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you doing? Life is not guaranteed. Life moves kind of slow, but it also moves kind of fast. None of us are getting no younger, regardless of what age we are. So you have to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? You know what I'm saying? If you haven't already started doing these things, because the thing is, it's all about what I call seed planting, right? So how can I use this? Okay, perfect example. I could go into this weekend. So yesterday, even though I'm on the track to do what I do, my 2 a day, I didn't actually get a chance to work the last 2 days. But how did I still end up getting referrals the last couple of days, even though I didn't work? Because why didn't I work? Facebook was down on Monday pretty much most of the day, so I couldn't work on Facebook Monday. And then yesterday, I ended up getting kind of busy, so I didn't work. However, the reason why I think I got like 5 referrals over the last 2 days that I did not work is because I went to all the seeds that I planted from the first leading up to Monday. then even though I didn't physically go out and work, those seeds were already planted. Those people were already watching the videos. Those people were already probably discussing with their families, their friends, or whatever, should they join. Meaning that seed was, that video was giving water for me, and it was already blossoming. So even though I didn't work, people still contacted me last night, this morning, yesterday, day before. Hey, Mike, you know what I'm saying? I watched the video this weekend from the seed that you planted, and now I want to go ahead and join. But if I don't plant those seeds, it don't happen. Perfect example, when we did the sales call Friday afternoon, and it was funny because me and Kenny was laughing about this because it's the small little actions that make a difference. So me and Kenny was on the phone, and we was debating. We was like, man, you know, we didn't do the sales call at 10 a.m., right? And we was like, should we do it at 5? Are people really gonna be on? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I kind of didn't feel like doing it. He really didn't have anything set up to train on. And he was also debating, should he send out a 50% off, you know, to the network, right? So we both decided, you know what, he gonna go ahead and send that text real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this sales call, right? So when we got, by the time I got off that sales call, well, by the time the next day rolled around, something happened. What we realized is that when he sent out that text, that brought in about like six, they had like 8 or 9 people to reactivate their accounts. Well, if you don't send out that text, then it doesn't happen. For me, when I did that sales call, when I was training and I was showing people how to work the poll, and I was inboxing people live, showing people how it works, do you know, during that call, 2 of those people that I messaged actually end up signing up over the weekend? But if I don't do that, it never happens. So that's very important. Also, here's another, I guess you can call it a metaphor or whatever, is everything you do in life is like a vote, like you're casting a vote for who you want to become. Now, you might not win the election, so that goes back to what I was saying earlier. If I eat that burger, like I was talking about earlier, I'm casting a vote to be fat. Now, in order to win the election, I got to keep on voting. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, I will win the fat election. You see what I'm saying? But every positive vote you count also goes towards your thing. So the whole goal is to have a list of habits, a list of that. You got to have a daily routine. Like if you don't have a checklist of important things that you need to do on a daily basis that are going to get you to your goals, then you're not going to be able to be successful. I know that's kind of hard to say, right? Because I say that because I really believe that nobody is that perfect that they can just have everything in their brain and boom, boom, boom. No, you got to write that down and you got to check it off and hold yourself accountable, because none of us are perfect every day. So at least at the end of the night, when I'm not perfect, I can look and see where my faults are at. And now I can go correct them. But if I don't have it wrote down, then how can I correct something if I don't see it? So with that being said, Jordan, I want to pass it back to you.
I mean, when it comes to just kind of piggybacking off of your habits, I mean, I'll you know, you've been comfortable enough to share your 3 goals. I'm going to go and share my 3 goals as well. 1, I'm going to become I am a master Forex trader. And I always, whenever I think about a goal, whenever I want to really concentrate on a goal, I more so turn it into not I'm going to be, but more so an affirmation like that's already happened. Because to me, it's so important that I frame it in that mindset, because it already gives me, and again, I can go into a little bit more of my spiritual journey, maybe a little bit later down the line. But for me, it really is important to get myself into that mindset that I'm already there, because then it's going to allow me to things that I need to do in order to actually get to that point. Again, the beautiful thing about the brain is it doesn't take into consideration the present reality. It more so is encouraged by the information that you feed it. So if you keep telling yourself that A, I am a master Forex trader, B, I am a top podcaster in the world, and C, I am the owner of the top media network in the world. If you keep telling your brain that, or you keep telling your brain very similar goals, or just goals in general that you want to go ahead and accomplish, the brain's not going to recognize the difference between what is going on presently. The brain is then going to allow you to do the actions necessary to get to that reality. So how do I go about in doing that? It all comes back down to daily habits. It comes back down to the fact that I am getting up as early as I need to in order to get my meditation done, in order to get my exercise done so that I've got the energy needed to keep going. It comes back down to, making sure that I'm online reading something, reading a book, reading a self-help book. Right now I'm reading 10X by Grant Cardone. Fantastic book, by the way. But I always make sure that I at least get 10 pages of one particular book that I read so that my brain is constantly filling itself up with knowledge and wisdom that I'm going to need in order to help me with my goals. Then it comes down into my journaling. I think journaling is so important because that allows you to really concentrate on what you want from this world. What do you want the universe to give you, and what are you going to do in order to make sure that you get to those particular goals? So it really comes down to the routine. And then let's go ahead and let's talk about planting seeds, right? So yes, we have our trading sessions so that we can plant seeds and everybody to grow to become master Forex traders. Also, not only that, but we understand that this is a process that we have to plant the seeds in day by day by day. We're not going to have an oak tree. If we plant the seed today, we're not going to have an oak tree tomorrow. That takes about 100 years to grow or something like that. Very similar with plants, it takes time for it to grow. And so does this knowledge. So do what we learn. We have to take the time to keep going at it day by day by day by day. And I can also talk about this podcast as well in terms of the following that we've been able to build up so far, almost close to about 300 followers on our Instagram page, which we're very grateful for. But that didn't come just by a day. We didn't have the page set up and then 275 followers showed up the next day. No, it took a matter of going at it hour by hour, day by day, week by week, building up the follower base by doing the necessary actions needed in order to create that following base. So now I go ahead and I transpose that question to everybody, not only on this call, but those who are also going to listen to it beyond this call as well. What are your goals? What actions are you taking daily? And what actions are going to be considered good in order for you to allow yourself to manifest that reality that you want? And B, what are those habits that you need to go ahead and sacrifice in order for you to live that particular life that you want to manifest? Again, I can go into the fact that I rarely watch TV anymore unless it comes to football. That's probably the only time that I watch TV. I'm either spending my time trading, reading, or building up the base for the podcast. That's what I'm concentrated on because I already know what my goals are and I already got my mindset set for it. And so what we have to come to realize is what are those actions that we need to take to keep it going. And I think that's super important when it really comes to that manifestation of that reality. And then, Mike, something I also want to go ahead and just piggyback off of you as well, because we talk about, all the habits that we need to do, right? And we come back to those stages of those three phases, right? It being unbearable, those habits being unbearable, then it transitions to habits being uncomfortable, and then it transitions into habits that are actually ingrained into your brain in order for you to be able to have those habits as something that you just naturally do. It's called, think of it like the law, like a hypnosis, if you will, just a hypnotic rhythm that you can continue day by day, right? But again, we have to go back to those earlier two phases where it's not so easy. And we have to go back into repetition of why that's important, but also we have to understand, I think that this is going to be really everything that ties in together with all the goals that we want. It really is the why that's going to be the one thing that's going to give us the drive to keep going, to make sure that we get to those goals and that we hold ourselves accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Going back to what you said about, it being sometimes those habits can be unbearable, uncomfortable and stuff. It kind of goes to what I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, actually, which is the first thing is, you're gonna have to find some. If you can't like this person, she worked like 2 jobs, like 11 hours at one job, 10 like 8-9 hours at the other job, right? And I'm like, you can't do that forever because you hate both jobs. You're gonna kill yourself. One, it's too much work, but then if you hate what you're doing too, there's just too much stress on you. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that forever. So at some point, you're gonna have to find a way to first of all, find out what do you like? Like, what is something it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, what is something that I can enjoy doing every single day, right? Like, what is something that like I can do this every day? Once you figure that out, does it pay? Is there a way that I can make money doing that? If you can't make money doing that, then you can find another way to make it fun. I'm gonna give you a perfect example about myself, right? All right, so to be honest, marketing and talking to people all day and stuff, that's something that I don't mind doing, but it's not like I just love it to the point where it's like in the perfect world, I wish I just had a boatload of money and I could just chill and do what I want all day. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I'm gonna be honest. But some marketing is something I don't mind doing. But in order to make it more comfortable for myself, right? In order for me to be able to do it and make myself love it, one thing I do, see this little controller right here? Like if somebody said, hey, I can make money playing video games all day, I would love that job, right? Well, guess what? I make money playing video games all day. You want to know how? Because what I do is I say, okay, I got something here that will not only earn me money, but it earns me residual income. Meaning that once I do something once, I can get paid for it over and over again, which means I don't have to work as much. That's a plus because I don't like working. The second thing is when I have these goals out and I'm like, okay, I'm just give you an example. I might say, all right, I'm gonna do these 6 things and then I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna check my messages. I'm gonna check my comments, make sure ain't nobody commented on my post. I'm finna run a Facebook poll or message some people and tell them thanks for viewing my poll, maybe 20 people. I'm finna go add about 25 friends or whatever. I'm about to go post in a few groups. And then once I do that, reward. I get to go play the game for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or so. Boom, come back, do the next 5 things. Boom, now I go get to play the second quarter of the game. Boom, do the next thing. And before I know it, I done played 4 quarters of this game. But what I've done also, I've strategically said I'm gonna add 25 people each time. So no matter what else I did, if I add 25 people each time, and let me explain this too, and this comes to habits. I predicted something a long time ago, and it's funny to see it manifesting, or it actually been manifesting for a long time, but for me to be here, which is this. When I first started marketing online, I would post stuff online. This is like 2012, 2013. And I would always get ridiculed. Like it was very discouraging. What I mean is people telling me, oh, that's a scam. Oh, this is bull, you know what I'm saying? No, people really wasn't interested. It was hard as heck to get anybody to join a business, right? And then one day, thank God, just all of a sudden a thought came across my head and I acted on that thought. Sometimes when you have a great thought, like I don't care how tired you is, you better write it down or do something and actually go do it because you never know until you know. So what I said was, I think the reason why I get so much pushback on my page, and this may be some of you guys' story as well. That's why I'm telling you this story. The reason why you might get pushback when you try to promote your business to people and stuff like that is because you're trying to promote to people who don't want to work from home, who has no interest in working from home, who probably tired from their job, who probably went to school all these years and got a career, and now they're like, I done put all this time and money into it. I don't want to do nothing else. So they're going to give you pushback, right? So what I decided to do was I said, I noticed that in these Facebook groups, I would always see, and I know you guys hear me say this all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's real. And it will really change your life if you listen to me. What I realized was in these Facebook groups, there's a lot of people asking for info on all these different posts and stuff. Like you'll see a post and you might see a person say, hey, I got a work from home opportunity. It costs $50 to sign up and it pays daily or something like that. And you might have seen 200 comments on it, right? Well, if I look at that post, there's a lot of things I know about those people. One, if they see a post that they would like, then more than likely they might interact with it. They might comment on it because I see them commenting on something right now, which means that's a good person I would want on my page, interact on my post. They also, in the example I just gave you, at least willing to spend $50. You know what I'm saying? And they want to work from home. I know that about them as well. Once again, a perfect person to add to my page. But more importantly, when I'm looking for a lead for my business, I don't want some old email list, you know what I'm saying, of people that was trying to work from home 5 years ago. Because I'm telling you, when people be selling those email lists, if that list was that good, they wouldn't be selling it to you. You know what I'm saying? And plus, once you got it, you got it. So they don't care. They send you anything. So I want to, and plus on top of that, people sign up with people. That's just the facts. So people can try to depend on that autopilot and stuff. I'm not saying it don't work, but I do think you got to throw a whole lot of money in those type of advertising campaigns to get that to work for you consistently, at least from my experience. Not saying it can't work, it just takes a lot, and you better know what you're doing. However, when I go to these people and I start, say I see this post with 200 comments, all these people asking for info. In my eyes, this is a gold mine because I see a whole bunch of people raising their hands saying, I want to work from home. And not only do they want to work from home, but a lot of these comments are from an hour ago, 2 hours ago, a day or two ago, which means this person is looking to work from home right now. So if I go out and send, say I go, because I'm not going to send out 200 friend requests at once. That's going to get you in Facebook jail. So what I would do is I would actually save the post.
When we talk about planting those seeds, right? I can go back to what we're doing for, the podcast in terms of marketing. I'm dropping, I always go by a rule of 10, and I do this every hour. So every hour I'll kind of explain my routine a little bit. Now, once the hour comes around, I take at the start of, once that timer for me has a run out, I go onto the Goby Podcast Instagram page, and I follow 10 people. Now I want to do it in a way that it's relevant to the kind of content that we're ultimately going to promote, like in terms of network, associate, circle, whatever you want to call it. I want it to be relevant, so I do 10 follows. Now whoever has followed me back, the way that I go about it is I make a little mini story and do a shout out for them so that I can plant that seed like, hey, we are going to do some business in the future. We're going to network, we're going to associate in the future. And I've gone ahead and I've done that daily, going back to, I want to say the past couple of weeks. And again, we have about 275 followers on our Instagram page. So, something to be said about that. And then I do the same thing for my personal page. And that has also been growing a little bit of a following as well. But again, as Mike just alluded to, it's not that this happened overnight, but what we've done is it's a constant daily, hourly thing. We built up a routine, a habit that has allowed us to be successful so far. And for our Facebook page, same thing. I'm going to do about 10 invites, per hour as well for people to come to our Facebook page for the podcast. Now, in terms of the friends idea, I'll definitely look into doing that a little bit more. So, of course, after our recording right here, Mike, we're going to need to go ahead and get together for that. But it does come, it really all just kind of comes back to what we've been talking about. Daily habits. What are the successful habits that are going to help you in terms of promoting yourself, promoting your passion, promoting your business, whatever it is you want to get done, whatever goals you want to get done, you are going to be able to do that as long as you practice those habits that allow you to be in alignment with your goals. And we talked about this last week, or we talked about this on our prior meeting. It's the fourth quarter now. We have about a couple of months until 2021 is over and we get to 2022. So in terms of going through those habits, in terms of practicing what you need to do in order to move forward to the next level, Mike, it is so crucial that we tell people to do this right now, because at the blink of an eye, 2021 is going to be over. And the question that you have to ask yourself is, were you able to improve from 2020 to 2021? Better yet, can you take the last 3 quarters of this year, so the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, and can you say to yourself in the fourth quarter, I did it, I found my success, I found my pathway, and now the beauty of that is now having a template to now do it for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of 2022, and staying in that fourth quarter mindset, staying in those fourth quarter, here are my goals, here are my habits, here's my routine. Let me go ahead and start this all over again until I get to the point where I have as much success as I want. And here's another thing. When it comes to the limited success that you want, there should be no limit. You should always be striving to do something. It may not be relevant to what we're thinking about right now because goals and we change as people, but you should always be striving for some sort of success. You should always be striving for that sort of fourth quarter mentality where you want to win the game at all costs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I saw an interesting stat the other day. Kobe Bryant hit the most game-winning shots in history, meaning that not only does he apply the pressure in the fourth quarter, but there's a lot of times when the game was in doubt. But even in the last minute, he was able to pull it through. But I'm pretty sure it was because of his habits. So with that being said, I just want you to think about it like this. Whatever first you got to find goals. If your goals is to be a millionaire, if you don't need that much money, find out how much you need. Once you feel like you need it, come up with a plan on how to do it. Come up with daily habits, make you a checklist, and just start doing it every day blindly. Like you don't have to be great. You just got to be consistent. And if you be consistent, you will become good. Then you'll become great because anything that you do consistently, you're going to get good at whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like if you study, like I don't care how confused you are about Forex. If you're confused, if you study it every day, you're going to get good at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how bad of a marketer you think you are. If you go out and market every day, you're going to get creative. You're going to get good. And one thing about marketing, like I always tell people the story of what kind of got me through it. I don't know how I knew to think about this, but I had just thought about it like this. I said, look, because I was struggling to find that very first organic referral. And I said, if I could just get one person organically, just one, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it. But I had to get it the real way. I had to get them to take out their debit card and go on my site and purchase something from me online. I had to figure out how to do it the right way. And I was like, if I could do this one time, whatever I did to get that person, I'm just going to keep doing it over and over with everybody else, because if it worked on them, it would work on somebody else. And eventually I will evolve and get better and better. But there goes my building point. So when you look at it like that, then if you're telling me if I could just get one, I could get 1,000, then why not do whatever it takes to get that one? So with that being said, Jordan, if you got something to say, matter of fact, you can go ahead and send us home, brother. Go be great, y'all.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing I want to go ahead, because I know that we've got our lunch and learn here soon, but with the one thing I really want to strive with everybody is, even if, so you take that action, you take that habit, you put in that plan and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do to get there, and you work on it. Even if it does not create a particular, what I'd like to call the success right away, what it's going to do is those actions are still important, because whether or not it's successful, it gives you the experience, it gives you the wisdom, as Mike said, to get better. I can guarantee you, in terms of what we're going to be doing as marketers, what we're going to be doing as Forex traders, what I'm going to be doing as a podcaster, it is going to evolve. We're just starting out. We're just starting out our journeys in terms of learning that path to financial freedom. So there are going to be bumps along the road. There are going to be hiccups along the road, and that is completely fine. That is expected, and that is going to happen. The one thing that we can't do, though, is I talked about not being a non-drifter. What we don't want to do is we don't want to drift our thoughts from this is what I want to accomplish to drifting to, oh, this didn't work, so this isn't for me. Let me go ahead and quit. That's not what we want to do. That's not what we're supposed to do. What we're supposed to do is not let that drift us into that particular thought pathway, but instead allowing us to see, okay, this didn't work. Now we're going to try something else, and we still have the goal in mind. So it's very important to stay consistent with your goals, stay consistent with your plan, and do know that you're going to be that you are on your way towards that pathway. Even if you can't see the tangible results right now, do know that they are coming. Everybody, do take this information and let's go ahead and let's make ourselves a better self for the future. Everybody, go be great and go be blessed.